Hey guys, welcome to another fun and exciting Iron Mike GT7 stream. Finally, I went live the other week, but finally I've put a video together for the manufacturer's race GT1 at Daytona. My manufacturer, of course, is Nissan. So I've picked the GT500 1999 car. I've dropped out of derating A, so these are all derating B drivers. So as a GT1 racer, I guess I'm at the bottom of the barrel. Last place, didn't qualify at all. Well, I think I put in no, I didn't qualify at all. And been at work all day, so this is probably race 5. And to be honest with you, I knew we had to pit. I knew my tyres would be pretty good, but I didn't know. I thought, oh yeah, that's right, I think we've got a fuel as well. But I didn't know whether or not to change tyres. I hadn't practiced that. I was only doing quick races to check the longevity of the tyres. And so then I thought, well, I don't know if I should be changing. So I thought, well, I'll go as far as I can. GT1, it's got heavy damage. So really the plan was, originally pit. And then I realised it's 20 laps, not 15. It's actually 15 players, not 15 laps. Well, originally it was 15 players. And eventually I checked my fuel and then realised, oh my god, it's 20 laps. So I remember thinking I probably would pit around let's say lap 12. Go as far as I can, as long as I don't get damage. Get away from people. Anyway, that was the idea. So it was a case of I'll play it out. But again, I didn't know if I should change tyres. Now there's a mover I wasn't too sure, and I thought just go for it. He's actually I was catching up pretty hard there. Did make contact, but only slightly. Yeah, so in relation to the tyres, I remember thinking, well, if I'm going to go to lap 11, 12, 13, I'll just have a feel of the tyres and the lap times. Now these people pitting at the end of lap 2, so I could only imagine they've got damage, pretty bad damage, so pit early, because 20 laps, that's quite a bit. I don't think their fuel would get to the end, so if you're pitting that early, I would imagine it's a 2-stopper for them. My previous video that I did, which was live, it was pretty hard to hear me, so during the week I've been just recording and talking over it and recording, and I worked out that my audio I had cranked up, and that was the that was manufacturers at Suzuka with the rain. Everything was cranked up, so you could hardly hear my voice. So hopefully this is an improvement. My setup, during the week I was practicing, and I found this car is actually quite powerful, and I think I'd lose traction around the tight corners coming out of them. So I knew I had to put some traction control on, and I found my best times were with the counter steer and strong and active stability management. And originally I think I was doing 1:47s during the week, and then I saw other people getting 46s, and I don't think I'd given it 100% effort. So a day later or whatever, I then went back to push a bit harder, see what else I could get out of this car, and got down to the 146. But that's in practice during the week. Yeah, and that was the other thing. So I'm in P7 now. So 15 people join the race. 14 started, so I thought, well, in theory, I need to reach position 7 minimum for my DR to go up. Now, last race my DR did go up, and so I thought, well, I need to hit position 7, and we're on what, lap 3 at the moment, and I'm in P7, and I just couldn't believe it. But funny enough, I thought, just keep calm. If these are better races behind you, and there I am going a bit wide, really not happy there. Penalty, half second. I did think to myself, well, it's half second's going to go like that, and there's a bit of a gap between me and the guy behind me. Yeah, so I thought I'll just keep calm. If they're going to catch and pass, it's going to happen. I was a little bit cautious about joining this race tonight. I was watching other people during the day, and it did come across as a bit rough, where people were dive bombing and so forth. So yeah, I wasn't really looking forward to it. Again, this is a race with not much strategy. You just have to pit stop, and again, it's the, do I change tyres or not? 20 laps is quite a bit. If I hit at lap 10, what are they going to be like by lap 20? Will I regret it? So it looks like maybe the gap behind me is growing. So the gap in front and behind is pretty even at the moment. But I've made some good ground from P14. And the reason why I thought there were 15 cars is in the lineup I'm looking at, you know, what door numbers people are and in what position on the grid are they. Hoping that I'm not door number 1. I think I was door number 15, by the way. Oh no, I wasn't, 14. Because I did see a door number 15. I thought, well, hang on, there's only 14 cars. So someone must have dropped out before, during qualifying or before it, whatever. The other reason why I chose this car is it's got really good top end speed. As I cross the start finish line, I think in practice I was hitting about 276. Another car, I think it was the GTR 2013 Nissan, that had, at the time, that had the fastest lap time for me, and that's the one I was going to go for. But its top end speed was like 266, so it was almost 8 to 10 kilometers slower. So I don't know if I'll hit the 270, but not, maybe 273 from memory. Let's just have a look. Oh, 5, 6. Okay, no, I hit it there. Which is, I've seen one or two other people hit those speeds, but there are other cars that maybe are good in the infield around this area, cornering, but out in the straights, yeah, not so fast. I guess my only concern was if I am going fast, I don't want people in my slipstream just taking advantage of it. And luckily, and that gap behind me is just growing and growing. I'm sitting outside, so the figures aren't that clear to me. I'm looking through the window. Looks like 5 seconds, and that I couldn't believe. I'm thinking this is GT1. I should be nervously at the back, although these are not A drivers. Although, even though they're B, I'm sure they entered as an A into GT1, just like me, and now they've dropped back to a B. So rule headset just dropped there. We're all pretty much in the same boat, but all the same, I just can't believe how much progress I've made so far. And fuel wise, yeah, I was actually being mindful you know, and there's two frames of mind. There's, you know, fuel save to see how far you can go, but also you don't want to carry a heavy load, you know, in your fuel tank. So I usually, in my mind, I usually think, well, you should burn as much as you can initially to make your car light, and then try and drive conservatively on a light load. But that's in theory. In practice, I've never been game enough to actually do it. So lap 6 of 20, still holding, looks like 6 seconds now, the gap behind me. So I haven't looked fully at the actually I haven't even watched this replay yet. I'd love to know what's going on, unless they're battling or something. And then I think there might be a group of cars in front of me. You're always hoping that they'll be battling and slowing down. So traction control 3, ASM on, and counter steer on strong. And I'm pretty sure my lap times at the moment, I'm pretty sure they're about 148s. But consistent nonetheless. And my brake markers, pretty much had them under control. There's like a black marker on the fence at that bus stop chicane that I use, so I actually go past the red brake markers. Those brake markers aren't the best. But in GT Sport, I used to use the cones as a guide, and they don't use the cones anymore. Maybe I just wish they had the cones still, but they were just fixed and transparent, because people used to knock them over and so forth. Yeah, don't always get that corner spot on. Sometimes when I'm commentating on my races, I do get things monumentally wrong with what I say, usually because I've raced my second account and I'll get confused between the races. So yeah, there's someone's just dropped out, so we're down to 13. Unfortunately not someone in front of me, so I'm still in P7. It's quite a lengthy race. I mean, 20 laps, it's not even 2 minutes a lap, so probably, if it was 2 minutes, it'd be a 40-minute race. So it's probably more like a 35-minute race, which isn't too bad. I must admit, apart from not having slipstream, I do enjoy just being on my own. It can be a little bit boring. If you do fast forward a bit occasionally, you know, that's cool. I don't mind. But again, I just couldn't believe that I'm getting away from the people behind me. And I did wonder whether or not these are people that have been racing all day and they haven't changed the oil, or they've got damage. So you can see the I've got the brake balance. Sorry, I even forgot about that. Brake balance is at +5 to the rear. And so during the week when I'm doing my practice run, so I just do the standard qualifying laps, just to see each car. So there's 4 I can use in with Nissan. I use all 4, and I just do maybe 1 or 2 laps with each, and then snapshot the lap time and top end speed, and then I move on to the custom race and I'll maybe do a 2-lap race. So I've divided 20 by 10 to get 2, so I'll multiply the fuel, which was I think 3, by 10 to get 30, and the tyre wear by 4 by 10 to get 40. And then I shoot around, and naturally you've got to fuel up. So I think it's after 1 lap I've got 1.7 laps of fuel left. But I'm looking at the tyre wear and the fuel, of course. And so I'm just trying to be careful with my tyres as well. Even though I'm going to pit, the question is, do I change tyres? So I'm assuming at the moment, I guess I'm assuming that I'm not, unless there's something glaring that says do it. I did think it's only about 4 seconds to change tyres, but we're nearly on lap 10. I think it was around here. I thought I've nearly on lap 10, and there's hardly any wear on those mediums. So there's, I'm starting to think maybe I won't. I think if I change tyres, I'd have cold tyres, whereas hopefully the temperature of these tyres stays relatively the same. Not too sure about that. Please tell me if I'm wrong. Wow, so I've missed that. There's people that have pitted already, so I'm in P4. And yeah, so going through my head is, do I pit on lap 10? And somebody told me, no, you know, your tyres are pretty good, and if you pit, you're going to top up with fuel, adding weight to the car. So part of me was thinking, well, I should go as far as I can as the fuel will let me, because it looks like the tyres aren't the concern, it's the fuel. So I thought if I pit as late as possible, my car's going to be as light as it can be for as long as it can be. But I'm forever now, my decision making is also based on the split times between me and P3, more so me and P5. So if P5 was catching pretty hard, which is, I think that's, yeah, that's Harry Palms. So I knew he pitted, so whether or not he's put fresh tyres on, I wasn't sure. So here's the top 3. They're now pitting, and I'm not ready to pit yet. So I've been in GT1 for this is my 2nd season. First time ever I've been in P1 for a GT1. I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe they'd be coming out the pits as I come around here, but no. So I've still, and this is promising for me, because I'm thinking, well, Harry Palms has pitted. I didn't know whether or not he changed tyres, but I'm holding him off. I think originally he was catching, which made me think, oh, he's got fresh tyres. But I seem to be holding him off. And then maybe on the straights I'll then look at how far other people who potentially have pitted, how far are they behind us? And if anyone starts to catch up in a big way, I really just want to get out of the way. So if they were on my tail now, near 2 seconds, I'd probably be pitting. And then I see there's another guy in front of me, and I'm thinking, hang on, I'm in P1, therefore it must be a lapped car. So maybe he's a back marker who has pitted. But a part of me was thinking I really would like to try and catch up and hop in his slipstream. And again, the split time between me and Hairy Palms is maybe coming down, but only just a touch. So that's lap 11. Still going. Peeking out my top gear, gear 6. Always looking for gear 7. Now that corner there is a corner why I have traction control 3. This corner here, I just want to push out of these corners with a bit of confidence without having to worry about the back end just sliding out. This corner as well, and then definitely the next one I would need traction control. This is the main corner where during my time trial practice during the week, without traction control I would just lose the back end. And I'm happy when that happens, because then it tells me straight away you need traction control. So, and I was almost chuckling to myself, because I'm thinking not only am I in P1, even though I haven't pitted yet, but I'm thinking I've been holding that for probably the last 2 or 3 laps. This P1 position is going on for quite a bit, considering I started at the back. It's just mad. So I'm looking at my fuel now, and I've got 1.3 laps to go. Is that right? I think it said that. I couldn't believe it. So there's more people pitting, and I thought, good. Because I thought there'd be like a pack of 8 people, like slowly coming right up behind me. So P1, as soon as I pit, I'm down to P12 or whatever. But again, my theory here is keep the car real light and real fast. So I'm pretty sure I'm getting up to a minute 47s about now, because my car is really light. And not only that, it would be pretty hard to make a tyre decision around lap 10. But I'm on lap 13 now, getting ready to finish it. I'll be pitting this lap, and I'm looking at the wear and going, nah, I'm not changing tyres. It won't benefit me in any way, I don't believe. My cornering still feels okay. No accidents so far, no damage. Just that one penalty that I had half second. So my fuel tank is saying please pit. So don't change, and then up to that diamond just past it, which is under the fuel tank. For anyone who's unsure, there's a diamond, a marker, that would generally indicate where you should stop fueling. So from P1 dropping down to P5, P6, P7, P5. Wow. And then I've got Pirate Racing behind me, which is about 1.4, I think. So I'm kind of hoping that they haven't changed tyres and their tyres are similar or worse than mine. Because if everyone is pitted, if they've got fresh tyres on, I am at a disadvantage, potentially. It was interesting with this guy who has a bad internet connection. I'd see him like catching and then dropping away, catching and dropping away. I'm doing my best just to, you know, keep ahead of him. And I'm pretty sure everyone in front of me has pitted. I would imagine the top 8. I can't imagine anyone. I can't remember if anyone else pits. Feels real slow going around there, and I'm pretty sure I'd see the split time dropping. I can see him in my mirror. I'm just trying to run like a rabbit running from a fox, just running for my life, really leaning on that traction control. There's not much going on in front of me, it's all behind me, this guy, so he's the only person on my mind really. Every once in a while, well usually now through experience while I'm racing, I tell myself I should be happy with the position I've got at the moment, and if this guy who I cannot seem to get away from him, looks like he's in my slipstream at the moment. I thought if he catches me, I'll just let him go. There's a healthy gap in front of me, 7 point something seconds, so don't really have to worry about those guys. So this Pirate Racing, I was a bit concerned about this corner coming up because I thought I'm a little bit conservative. I don't want to overcook the corner. It can make it worse, so take it easy. Yeah, he's in my mirror. I'm thinking, oh, here it comes. And hopefully if he gets past, it's on a straight or somewhere sensible. So I'll be honest, I was hoping it was going to be on the back straight. I'm still pushing it, still trying to own the corners. So I was hoping the back straight, but here I think I just go a touch far. I go a bit deep. And I thought, well, I've gone deep, there's your chance, you go for it. And I couldn't see him at the time, and there he is. So I thought, well, I'll hop in your slipstream and then give him a bit of a bump draft if I could. I think that was a bump draft. So, yeah, begin to pull up beside him. I thought, this isn't good. He's worked hard to get past, just back off. Don't lose the slipstream. Don't lose the slipstream. It's probably coming out of the corner, I thought that, and I thought, oops, a little bit late. So I thought, well, if I can get in his slipstream and tag along, and I feel like I'm catching here, so I thought if I start closing in because I'm in his slipstream, I'd probably just bump draft, stay behind him. Slowly feel him slipping away. So on lap 17, it's pretty much the closing chapter of this race. We'll get near the end. Start to feel the tyres a little bit, but they're still looking okay. Then I'm looking at P7, 4 point something seconds, and just sort of monitoring that to make sure they're not closing in real hard. Look at the bottom right corner. Looks like I know what I'm doing. Does he now think I'm in a slipstream? I think maybe I got a good exit out of that bus stop chicane. So I've managed to get back in. But for how long? And again, I'm holding off P7. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Aussies in the top 6, which I thought was quite impressive. And I guess the reason why I wanted his slipstream was to protect me from the people behind. I thought if I lose the slipstream, I'm on my own. I could be a sitting duck. Now, I don't know if it was this race or my second account. But one of the races, near the end, I put my traction control from... no, I think it was the second account where I went from 2 to 3. This is on traction control 3. 2, sorry. I am on 2. So you might see me just wind it up a bit. And I think the reason for that was, again, during the week practice, I didn't really get a good feel for what the tyres felt like, as they're pretty worn. Only doing like the one lap, you don't get a feel for it. And I thought, oh, I get the feeling I could spin the back end with that back right looking more worn now. We're getting there. So you're down to 3 seconds behind me, and that did get me a little bit concerned. So that's RNR Reaper. I've seen him on other people's YouTube streams. This might be the first time I've ever raced against him. but he's doing pretty well in P1. And then Harry Pumps as well, second place. Pretty happy with my entry and exit through the bus stop. Just again getting the brake points right, carrying the speed through. It's pretty happy. I've had races where it's just inconsistent, and I'm nailing it one lap and then totally cocking it up the next. But this race seemed to be pretty consistent through there. Final lap. If you've watched the whole stream up to this point, thank you. You're doing really well. Thank you. So I remember thinking, like, I've still got about 3 seconds to the guy behind me, so the threat seemed to not be so bad. Every corner I take, I'm just slowly, the odds are with me finishing P6. Now you probably noticed Harry Palms was P2. He's in a Porsche, and he didn't change tyres in the pit stop, and his rear right is, I think it's his rear right, is totally dead, and his last 2 or 3 laps haven't been his best, and this is his worst lap. So we're about to encounter Harry Palms. So if you look around the bus stop area, I think you might see his little blue triangle just going off track. Yellow flags. I didn't even notice until I saw this, and this was a risk. He could have unghosted there, but oh, I was so glad he didn't. And I felt sorry for him. I thought maybe someone's hit him. Should I slow down and just let him take P5 and I'll take P6? But you're right near the end, almost out of fuel, and I thought, I don't know the circumstances, I'm just going to finish where I am, P5. So starting from P14 up 9 places up to P5, that got me over maybe 112 points. Anyway, thanks for watching our stream, guys. Looking forward to watching your races, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.